आप थोड़ा लॉक जो ट्रेन से बता रहे थे उसके बारे में थोड़ा विस्तार से बताएंगे।
80 फीट तक खोदते हैं और फिर 5 फीट का लॉकिंग छोड़ देते हैं, यानी उसको खोदना नहीं है। खोदना कितना है कि उसको पिचिंग करना है अपने को पत्थर से ऐसा, तो 1 से 1.5 फीट तक खोदना है उसको, उसमें पत्थर से पिचिंग कर देना है ताकि वो मिट्टी बह के न जाए। फिर बाद में 80 फीट खोदना है, लेकिन ये 80 फीट ये पैमाना नहीं है। जमीन का स्लोप अगर आपका कम है तो 80 फीट रखिए, स्लोप थोड़ा ज्यादा है तो 60 फीट रखिए, बहुत ज्यादा स्लोप है तो 40 फीट रखिए। तो स्लोपिंग के हिसाब से इसका पूरा वो मेजरमेंट होता है उसका। लेकिन 4 फीट डीप ये तो होता ही है, 4 फीट चौड़ा और लॉकिंग ऐसा करते हैं।
तो रिसेंटली అందరూ ఫెర్టిలైజర్స్ కి బాగా అడిక్ట్ అయిపోయారు. ఎందుకంటే దిగుబడి కానీ బేసిక్గా ప్రాఫిట్స్ కానీ అందులోనే ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయని చెప్పి. సో ఇటువంటి వాటి మీద ఎక్కడైనా మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ కంపెనీస్ కానీ మనం ఎక్కడైనా అవేర్నెస్ ఏమైనా క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నాం ఫార్మర్స్కి ఎడ్యుకేట్ చేస్తున్నాం బేసిక్గా. నేనైతే ఇప్పుడు వచ్చి ఎక్కడ చూడలేదు, ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ అండ్ తెలంగాణ లేదు కానీ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో అయితే ఎక్కడ చూడలేదు నా సర్కిల్ అయితే. సో దీని గురించి నేను తెలుసుకుంటాను.
Nujibid దగ్గర we have a research center where and the training center where trainings are regularly done and all the models are also displayed. You can always come back. Thank you.
So now we are moving to the engaging panel discussion. To moderate this session, we have with us Mr. Krishna. He is a senior deputy editor at Hindu Business Line. With over 30 years of journalism experience, he has covered critical issues in agriculture, commodities, and policies. So I welcome you, Krishna sir, and stage is yours. I request you to have a discussion around 15 to 20 minutes to make it very short. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction. Lindsay, it must be overwhelming for you listening all these things about Indian agriculture.
No, not at all.
Actually, we have been writing, we have been listening on these things for the last, say, 3 decades. It is overwhelming for us too, even today. So, despite listening to them, writing on them, studying them, it's really overwhelming. See, India is not just one monolithic India, like societies in UK or US. We are 100 years apart, living in the same moment. Certain people are living 100 years ahead, and some people are living 100 years behind. So the challenge of nutrition that you are looking at is an interesting element. An outsider only can bring out certain things. The pilot, as a question on the pilot that you are doing, what will be the scalability of the study after the pilot is done?
So we're currently doing that study at the scale of 2,000 households in AP.
That is the pilot.
The pilot was just 20 households, but now we're up to 2,000 for the larger study. I think it is scalable widely. I mean, I think if you can demonstrate that transitioning to natural farming reduces pesticide exposure in such an objective way, taking people's urine samples and measuring the biomarkers. As there'll be some variability, but I imagine that anywhere where the cropping system is largely similar in terms of the pesticides used, results will be similar.
So you are doing a comparative study of people who are exposed to chemicals and those who are following natural farming.
Yeah, so we're doing a large randomized control trial actually, where 80 villages were randomized, half to receive the APCNF training from ICRPs, and half which just continued with chemical farming.
How long will it take to complete the study?
So we've just finished the third fall. So we've done baseline and 2 follow-up visits. So 3 visits so far. We're going to follow them for another 3 years. So we're hoping to follow over the long term. As I said, we're measuring things like child development. So the kids were under 3 when they were enrolled, but now they're about 5 years or so. But we want to continue while they're in school. So hopefully we'll continue to follow them for many years, because of course the transition from chemical to natural farming takes time. It doesn't happen within one season.
Yeah, thank you. Subhash ji, that was a nice presentation. I can't speak in Hindi. I can understand fully, but my Hindi is very broken Hindi. So I'll be asking my question in English. We have read about your experiment in the region, how actually you can make a difference. So my question is, your presentation is elaborate and questions also, some of the audience have actually stolen my questions. So one question for you is, when fellow farmers see this model, your example, what is their response? Why they are not able to emulate your model? What are the suspicion, what are the questions that they have in their mind?
जहाँ तक मैं समझ मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगा।
Yeah, please do.
जहाँ तक मैं आपके क्वेश्चन को समझ रहा हूँ, तो देखिए इस तरह की खेती को अगर तेजी से रिप्लिकेट करना है, तो उसके हर प्रोडक्शन की कीमत देने की तैयारी समाज की या सरकार की होनी चाहिए। तो हम इस चीज को बहुत तेजी से, मैंने कहा कि जैसे मिट्टी का हम प्रोडक्शन कर रहे हैं, तो समाज की जवाबदेही बन जाती है कि उसका उपभोग समाज ले रहा है, तो उसका प्रोडक्शन का मूल्य उसको समाज में चुकाने की तैयारी रखना चाहिए। अब सरकार के भरोसे काम नहीं होगा, क्योंकि सरकार तो नहीं कर रही है कुछ किसानों को, तो सारा समाज के तरफ से उठनी चाहिए ये बात। फिर हम बोल रहे हैं कि नेचर फार्मिंग के थ्रू हम पानी इतना पैदा कर देंगे, मीठा पानी, स्वस्थ पानी, अच्छा पानी, लेकिन वो प्रोडक्शन के पीछे मूल्य चुकाने की तैयारी समाज की रखेगी, तो हर किसान वाली नेचर फार्मिंग एक ही साल में तेजी बढ़ जाएगी इसमें, और सब स्वीकारने लग जाएंगे। हम बोल रहे हैं कि भाई आपको अच्छी सांस मिलनी चाहिए, इसलिए हम 30% पेड़ लगा देंगे खेतों में, लेकिन उसका प्रोडक्शन का मूल्य चुकाने की तैयारी समाज की रखनी चाहिए। तो इन ऑल टोटल फाइनल समरी ये बनती है कि कोई भी, मैं एक ये मेरा मोबाइल है, मुझे कंपनी ने फ्री में नहीं दिया, कंपनी ने अपना मुनाफा जोड़ के दिया। तो आप मुझसे अगर कहोगे कि मिट्टी को उसका मूल्य चुकाने की समाज की जिस दिन तैयारी हो जाएगी, उस दिन बहुत तेजी से ये व्यवस्था आगे बढ़ेगी। जब तक इसमें मुझे नहीं लगता कि बहुत इसमें तेजी आएगी, फिर हम कितने ही प्रयास कर लें। अभी मुझे कहा गया कि आपने बोलकर कि कितने किसानों को तैयार कर लें, अरे आप उसके किसी चीज का प्रोडक्शन का मूल्य नहीं दे रहे, उसका अट्रैक्शन नहीं हो पा रहा है इसके नेचर फार्मिंग की तरफ। So main problem.
Yeah, sir, government has recognized your contribution. You received the highest award in the country. But in terms of replicating the idea, government is not doing enough. What actually the government should do to replicate your model in other parts of the country? At least in the dryland areas of like Vidarbha, we have entire Telangana is dryland. So what should government do to promote these kind of models?
एक तो इसको कंपलसरी कर देना चाहिए कि नेचुरल फार्मिंग ये कंपलसरी है, और ये प्रोडक्शन का मूल्य हम तभी देंगे जब ये कंपलसरी होगा। अगर इसका प्रोडक्शन मूल्य देके इसको कंपलसरी कर दिया, तो फिर बहुत तेजी से गवर्नमेंट का भी सुनने लगेंगे सरकार की बात, लेकिन उसके श्रम का अगर मूल्य नहीं चुकाता है, जब तक उसके समझ पाएंगे।
Devinder, I have been reading, I have been listening to you for the last 25 years, or even more. The fire has not come down a bit. Actually, it is still, it's gaining more steam. See, we have successful models across the country. You have been visiting the country, even world also. In India, there are successful models that Mr. Subhash has done that, Ramu has done that, DDS has done that, RYSS, there are several examples. You have been following the policy making for so long. What is restraining the government, our governments, state governments, which is holding agriculture in their portfolio? What is holding them for them to replicate these models?
They don't want to. They are not willing to go for out of the box thinking. the system that they have laid out or they have been born with or educated themselves and so on, they can't move beyond that. I have always said that the biggest change would come about only if, let's say, we have an agriculture minister in center and we have the chief minister in just for the sake of considering the kind of a design. Let's say we have the chief minister in Telangana. Unless he changes the his set of advisors, I don't think this country can change. The problems are the set of advisors. Whether it is Delhi or whether it is Punjab or whether Haryana, unki Hindi mein if I say, unki औकात ही नहीं है. They don't even have that capacity to think on that particular track. It would require a lot of effort from the civil society to really stand up and call for a change in thinking, change in narratives and so on and so forth. Which I think will happen eventually when we try to build up on these kinds of things that we are discussing today, for instance. And otherwise, please, if you are thinking of those Johnnies going to serve you better, please give up. Please give up. Don't be kind enough to them. Yeah. And the problem is most of us are kind to them. We don't even stand up and question them. So क्या होगा? Why do we blame कि वो policy makers क्यों नहीं बदल रहे? आप ही नहीं बदल रहे. So you are not willing to even stand up and ask your own professor in the college. So professor को नहीं सवाल पूछते, professor आगे नहीं सवाल पूछता. That system goes on. I think somebody will have to take a, जैसे होता है ना वो शीशा, so there's a kind of a thing that says in emergency knock at door and उसको तोड़ के उसको use करो extinguisher जो भी है. So we need that kind of a thing, but it is not happening. I have my doubts कि this society at this present juncture would go for that change. ठीक है, Ramuji is doing great job, RYSS is doing a great job. Oh, we will go on complimenting them. We will go on complimenting Subhash Sharma जो उन्होंने काम किया. But that, what should I say, that willingness to take it forward, that is not there.
See, the dichotomy in thinking of officers you related while you are talking about, I can vouch for it actually. See, apart from agriculture, IT and startups are also my fields. So I cover, since it is a small city when compared to bigger cities, I cover IT, startups and agriculture. There are some other things also. But when I cover IT, it is so glamorous. Startups is a very sexy thing. Every quarter, companies, they come out with results. They say companies come out with 8% growth, 7% growth. They are so sad. The entire society is so sad that it is not achieving the double-digit growth that it was doing some 10 years ago. Even the government is also so sad. There are lives involved. I'm not denying that. They have a reason to why, but they have an association, NASCOM. They are so powerful that they can just, the secretaries, the ministers are just a call away. But I don't see, all of IT is about 40-60 lakhs of employees and some companies, handful of companies. In the last 10 years, startups, there are 100 startups that have become what you call unicorns, $1 billion valuation and more. And I don't see similar stories. In fact, farmers are driven more into that kind of thing. They don't have a kind of asking with the government. No one can talk to agriculture minister, who is generally the most weakest one in the cabinet, who doesn't have any power or so. I can vouch for that disparities that is happening. Ramu.
That is why we see after the government employees retire, senior bureaucrats retire, तब उनको समझ आ जाती है. Then they are for me also in my committee, there are so many requests coming from retired vice chancellor कि सब अब हम free हैं, आप हमें बताइए. अरे यार, thank God आप free हो गए. God I tell them कि आप free हो गए, कम से कम अभी वो तो continue नहीं करोगे ना. So I think it is quite evident. Retirement के बाद सबको अकल आ जाती है. उससे पहले कहीं ना कोई problem तो है ही है.
Wi-Fi brings system.
Say again?
Wi-Fi brings system.
Yeah.
And no hair.
Yeah, if you're in Punjab.
Ramu, see, you have been seeing the whole ecosystem at a different perspective. You are a scientist, you are an administrator. I mean, what to be administrator. You started an organization or several organizations, you worked with the governments, you worked with the farmers and FPOs. So you have developed a model. You hit road bumps, you succeeded it several times, you faced some kind of issues. What are the 2-3 challenges you faced in building a say Sahaja Aharam or no in an FPO, and how actually government can do or the system can do to help FPOs? Those things should not be there actually, but they are there. What are those 3-4 challenges you faced?
One major challenge is the access to credit. Access to credit and then support. Say, a couple of examples I present. I went to manage to present as part of the startups ecosystem. I and Ravi were there. We both went and presented. We are a startup, so give us fund. They said, you are a farmers cooperative. They said, see, farmers are going and they are doing organic farming. They have a certification. They are selling directly to the agriculture. It's an incentive. This is a innovation. They said, this is not innovation. Man is saying that. And then, do you have an act? These are questions they asked. Then, after 1 year or so, we went with an app also. They still said, you are a cooperative. And clearly they said, cooperatives are not eligible.
Okay.
Right? So, in our mind, we feel private enterprises will bring some revolution in this country, but farmers are the biggest entrepreneurs in this country.
Innovators,
entrepreneurs, they're doing the private business, right? But you are trying to kill it. So that's one issue. So access to credit. NPO, for example, say Sahaja, see, all our cooperatives put together, I can become 100 crore business in the next 6 months. But we don't have access to credit. We have the largest volume of organic food which we are producing. And for me to hold it, if I have to pay 12 to 16% tax, and then on every packet 5% GST, it becomes expensive. I'm unable to cater to the middle market. So I have to go to the very high premium market. If I go to the high premium market, then I need larger capital because I also have to get Kamala Hassan or Amitabh Bachchan to tell them to eat organic. I have to sell it in a supermarket. So I was actually making a calculation which say if organic food is say 50% higher priced, 75% of the money actually goes to the advertisements. You are paying for Kamala Hassan, you are paying for Amitabh Bachchan, you are not paying to farmer. Yeah? That's the situation. So there are issues there. So access to credit is a big issue. We don't get. See, if I get access to affordable credit, simply it can be scaled up. Is one issue. Of course, there are challenges with infrastructure and everything, but that's one big thing. Second, taxation system is so bad. See, farmers are the only one who buys everything in retail, sells in wholesale. There's no manufacturing system or production system like that anywhere in the world. So you are all taxed for your inputs, and in the output side you can't do anything. Say, there's a GST on fertilizer, there's a GST on inputs, machinery, everything, but farmer cannot claim the reimbursement for every damn person in this world.
The whole system is towards output based.
And if every system is output based, then agriculture is also output, right? Why are we not actually looking at it? So that's the issue. So there's a lot of anomalies in the system. Second important issue is there's a lot of violations of law. Just to give you an example, last week we were in one district in Telangana. When we went, there were some deaths happened. So the issue triggered us because there was some death because of the seed crop failure. We went there and we inquired. There was a 60% interest charged to the farmers.
Access to credit problem.
Access to credit, 60%. Right, 60%. And it's a private money lender. There's a Money Lenders Act in this state. No one knows that they should be implemented. It's a contract farming, not registered. Agriculture officer, marketing department is supposed to register, they didn't do. When they asked, they said it doesn't come under legal system. When we showed them, they said, I don't know. Right? The second one. Then there were sold pesticides without bill. Agriculture officer says, I don't know. It is not in the shop, so I can't regulate. Agriculture officer was supposed to be regulating that, right? It is not in the shop. There's only 2% of the people who come from the tribal areas who are working there. Violation of PESA Act. That the guy who is actually controlling it owns about 100 acres of land. Again, 1 of 70 violation. We listed out nearly 15 laws violated. No one worries about it. See, this is the kind of situation in which we are.
See, if they are taking loans at 60%, what should be
when will it become viable?
It is lost already. When they are starting the venture, it is lost already. So they have to make profits at 80% to repay loans at 60%.
And the farmer is paid 36 rupees per kg seed. It is sold at 800 rupees. The maize, hybrid maize seed which they are producing, farmer is paid 36 rupees. After doing all this, 60% interest and all those things, they paid 36 rupees. And then it is sold in the market at 800 rupees a kg. That's the situation. So the whole issue is the system is like that. And I can give you another example. So we run a helpline called Kisan Mitra. We get a lot of calls from farmers. A farmer has to deal with nearly 30-40 people in a year to solve their problems. And in the 30-40, nearly 20-25 are the departments, which all failed. Now we are expecting an FPO to correct all the problems. See, all of us failed. So let an FPO solve all the problems, increase the credit, sell in the market, solve the crop production problem, solve the soil problem, solve the...
For the poor bandwidth they have. They don't have any support in the bandwidth.
And without any support.
Yeah.
So that is the issue. So we are expecting some CEO to run a cooperative and then give them 2 crore business and then he's paid 15,000 rupees. If he's capable of doing it, why will he run that? So I'm saying it's all anomaly systems and then we are expecting to find solutions in that.
I think I will stop here because as a trained reporter, each panelist I can ask easily 6 to 7 questions for my, to do my story. But I'm just stopping it with 1 question each. We have an exhaustive view of the present challenges in agriculture. Some of you know some of the issues. Some of you might know all the issues also. But it is very important for us to discuss these issues as many times as possible. Lindsay is saying that there is a little scope for education, but I believe that we need to discuss these things as many times at as many fora as possible, so that the word is spread and so that we are hooked to the challenges. So that when we go outside, the roads are empty tonight, roads will be empty because IPL matches are happening. For the next 40 days in India, you go anywhere from 6:30 to 8:30, roads are empty. See, there is madness going ahead. That madness is covering all the real challenges. So small groups of people like us, we need to discuss these things again and again to spread the word and rededicate ourselves for the challenges that we are facing. Thank you all the panelists.